Hello and welcome to ETCIO LeaderSpeak. I'm Sneha Jha, editor of ETCIO, and with me today is Mr. Arun Jain, chairman and managing director of Intellect Design Arena. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for joining us at ETCIO LeaderSpeak. It's wonderful to have you with us today.
Thank you, Sneha, for inviting me for this forum. So, we're looking forward to a good conversation.
It's our privilege and honor, sir. So, you are a tech pioneer, an author, a design thinker, a philanthropist, and also an institution maker. You've built institutions like Ullas Trust, Project Samriddhi, also the School of Design Thinking. Can you talk to us about your entrepreneurial journey so far?
Thank you. This is the journey which is spent over 4 decades. So, I passed out from engineering college in 1983. And now it's 42nd year of my entrepreneurial journey, where we started with the 3 people, founded the first company, Nuclear Software, which is a listed company in Mumbai Stock Exchange. Then I moved to Chennai in 1990s, and then in 93 founded second company called Polaris Software Lab Limited, which got listed in Bombay Stock Exchange in 1999. And continuing the journey in 2014, at that point of time, I look at it, my interest is in writing a license, the core IP from India. So my passion moved that why India doesn't have a core intellectual properties which is of world standard. And that is the time when I decided to divide the business of Polaris into product business and service business. And 2015 took a largest decision to let go services business, because the DNA for the service business is so different from DNA of product company, which is agenda setting business. So that's a journey we went through and set up Intellect Design Arena as a company. So this is a very interesting thing that I got fortunate to get 3 experiences of Nucleus, Polaris and Intellect on one direction. On another direction, I could get a experience of working with a young student. Last Trust, we work with a 200,000 student per year, with our employees participate in mentoring them when they need the right help. Working with Mission Samriddhi based on the principle of design thinking. And a School of Design Thinking we set it up in 2015 to help the institutions to run applying design thinking over there. So this is a large landscape on which I traversed.
Right. So you touched upon this, but I want to dig deeper into this. What's the biggest challenge that the Indian IT companies face in trying to build IP-led businesses?
Let me just tell you the story. I visited sometime in 2007 Silicon Valley, and this same question was there, that why Indian IT companies are not able to build IPs. And we were in Polaris journey, and we were also saying, yes, we can do service and we can do products. So that was the storyboard we were doing it. And I found that entire culture of design thinking, which is revolved around customer versus management thinking. So the management thinking is about maximization and optimization of resources. So you have certain resources, you maximize them or optimize them. Well, Silicon Valley design thinking is about understanding customer stated and unstated needs and start providing a very specific solution where last 2% is 200%. People can understand the item, but last 2% is equal to 200% is a value which can create using design thinking. And when I embarked on the IP journey, first thing was to set up design thinking as a culture in the company. So I started looking at training 1,000 people in the company. We had 13,000 people in Polaris. I said, let me train 1,000 people in design thinking, and that will change the culture. It has changed the culture to 10% level. Mm-hmm. Then I took the second step, then that if you have to change the culture, then you need a temple of the culture. Mm-hmm. And the temple of culture is design thinking center I created in Navlur. Around 30,000 square feet of design thinking center was designed first, before embarking on IP journey. So the culture is so important to build. And the IT services company, uh, if they jump into IP arena, they need to organizing the thinking space of the people to who think agenda, who think customer, who think and observe what customer can do. Then they can move to the performing space, and then they can impacting the business outcome. So it's a 10-year journey.
Right.
It's not a 3-year journey, 5-year journey. A lot of time IP people are under pressure from investor to give the result in 3 years, 5 years. To me, intellectual property is a 10-year journey.
Right, absolutely true. So, since we are talking about the evolution of your business, evolution of your business model, how has your leadership style evolved through different stages, right from the startup to scale up, IPO, acquisition, and also product pivot?
Lovely, beautiful question you ask. A startup, when you're less than 10 people company, to move to 100 people company, when you move to 1,000 people company, then you move to scale of, you require a different thinking hats. And these hats are sitting within the mind of entrepreneur. So he is the enemy himself for his success, because he has to unlearn so much of the previous success, and somebody has to wake him up that your previous success will not take you to the next success. Because when you're running a 100 people organization versus running a 1,000 people organization, your entire internal canvas or internal climate has to change, not external climate. A lot of time we say, oh, I can hire a lot of people. That is external climate.
Correct.
Internal thinking climate of the entrepreneur is the biggest journey when you transform from one stage to other. And that's where I have gone through this transformation with the help of my coach. Since 90, I have a coach from 1990. So first was Prasad Kaipa from US, then I have a strategic professor from IIM Ahmedabad. I asked him to come as a coach to me, who can observe me on my actions and give me the feedback when I come out of the meetings. Or so when I'm transitioning from when IPO came, and post IPO is the responsibility of the managing a public company. In that time, Ashok Korwar came to me, and I invited him that why you're IIM Ahmedabad professor. Instead of doing the teaching there, you can contribute to business impact with me. So he joined me, worked with me for next 7 years. So this is an important shift in the thinking process of how to let go. Let go certain function, tolerate certain failures, patience of ensuring that R&D dollars, even if it fails 3 times, you need to continue if you have a conviction in it. So those are the changes which happen when we are driving through this journey.
Right. So you're a founder of purpose-driven companies. You're also now an angel investor and mentor. What's your vision for the coming years?
My excitement is that can we put India on a global map for IP? That's what excites me. In 1983, I had a green card. I could have gone to US in 83. My only passion was, my brother called me and said, why you are not coming? You are the luckiest person on the earth to get a green card when you pass out from the engineering college. I said, my father ran an account government job. If he can survive the family, I can also survive the family. I starting the career as an engineer. But let me attempt something in India. And that passionate India helped me in understanding that each leg of my journey, India comes first. I shifted to Chennai, Mission Samriddhi, working in the rural India, applying design thinking, what I learned in corporate India, I'm applying the same design thinking in my rural development area. So I'm using the same framework thinking, expanding the thinking of the rural India. To me, rural India can be changed only when their thinking change. And we need to design their thinking. So the way I'm designing the thinking for the employees and associate in Intellect, I'm looking that India can change when we do the design the thinking for the associate there.
Right.
So this is a very interesting journey for me to look from a different lens of a vision of future. Is can AI can be coming from India. Business impact AI can come. Foundational research can come from America, while applied research, enterprise research can come from India, and we can create a business impact AI with a simplification of financial sector,
Right.
which is the core. Commerce sector and financial sector, which is economic sector. We develop the technologies for first principle thinking. So from design thinking, I'm moving to first principle thinking. That why technology is so complex. Why can't we make it so simple that it can be scaled 10x, 100x?
Right. So Intellect Design Arena is the world's largest cloud-native, future-proofed, and also a multi-product enterprise fintech company for banks, insurance, wealth, credit union, capital markets, also for corporates. So what are the kind of innovations that are driving your work at Intellect Design Arena?
First of all, we invested largest research team of 1,200 engineers who started working when we separated Polaris and Intellect. So we committed to Intellect. 25% of our workforce since 2015 is working on research. And these researchers, the people who have participated in the company from Polaris since 2000. So they have a 20 plus years experience. There's a first job for them. So you need a people with a commitment to the purpose of innovation. Innovation is also purpose besides the company. So I'm fortunate to have those teams which are working with me, and we committed all our dollars for this research. If you look at we invested 20 million hours of the job in last 10 years in research. Means if I take $100 per hour, it's a $2 billion investment. It requires similar American company will require that. Second is, for innovation, you need design thinking, first principle thinking, and system thinking. First principle thinking, why bank exists? We ask a simple question, why bank exists? Bank exists because financial event happen in the life of the customer. Bank is only service provider to that financial event, whether you deposit the new money when you get a first salary, or you need a loan when you want to buy a first house. Bank is service provider to that. There's a finite number of needs in first principle thinking. So we encode those services into microservices. These microservices then get connected to other services, which is through APIs. And then you need to provide intelligence to those services, which is we are doing to the expert AI Purple Fabric. So these are four track we started to see how do we simplify financial system, not from a product perspective, from a customer perspective. So we shifted the pivot innovation towards the unstated need of Silicon Valley learning I had, where customer comes first, product comes second. So it's a multi-product company from a outside perspective. From inside perspective, we are saying a consumer product needs all deposit, he needs lending, he needs investment, he needs payments. That's the four needs of a consumer. Why should there be wealth product different from lending product different from investment product? Why should I have to sign 4 different accounts? It should be just one account which can give me capability of all the 4 capabilities to me.
Correct.
If corporate needs trade finance, supply chain finance, payments, if those are the products it requires, then it should be just customer should come first, and the products are means to deliver that particular product. And the complexity comes because bank thinks products, Intellect thinks customer.
Correct. So what kind of an impact do you think it will have on the financial technology roadmap of India?
It will have a significant impact on and that's what we are saying, emag.ai, the 6 principle which I mentioned about first principles. First is events, second is microservices, third is API, fourth is cloud, fifth is headless, which is segment-based UX experience, and sixth is AI. Now in these 6 principles, there is a finite number of microservices. We have zip coded 386 microservices. There are 550 events. There are 2,000 APIs. Each API is numbered. It's not a forest. It's only 2,000 APIs to deliver all the outcome to the business. If bank can adopt emag.ai as a platform, their cost of technology can be reduced by 40%. That's the potential of emag.ai. And principle behind that is, if my infrastructure is finite in your home, if you have a finite set of books, finite set of kitchen equipment, you will be more efficient. As simple as that. So 40% saving is coming from zero waste architecture design, which connects all the pieces in a composable fashion. And that's what drive 40% save for the financial institution by reducing complexity, by simplifying single customer data, and that's the value we are adding.
In the context of Intellect Design Arena's work and vision, how do you see India positioning itself on the global roadmap for AI and fintech innovation?
Intellect started investing in AI way back in 2015. We didn't have too much of AI in India. We set up our shop, research lab in New York and UK. There are two places we set up our research labs for researching AI. We had certain theses that AI can help financial institution because financial institution is the one which requires intelligence when they do the processing of the high value transactions or important, entire ecosystem runs on a financial sector. But as more and more we were doing it, we failed 3-4 times between 2015 to 2020. We invested close to $100 million in just AI research in last 10 years of our journey. But what we understood is, and AI is about enterprise governance. How do you apply AI in an enterprise? How the entitlement can be given? What kind of accuracy can we expect? And how can it coexist with the human experts? So if there's a human intelligence, then only artificial intelligence comes. There's no competition between AI and HI.
True.
HI and human intelligence should come together, and that's where our deep learning happened. And then we designed Purple Fabric as a platform, and in 2018 we started working on Purple Fabric. It took 7 years before we are launching this platform. So it's a as deep research of 7 years on connecting the dots between what enterprises are looking for and what foundational research in AI, which is happening at research level and application level. So we focus on applied research on AI. Now this Purple Fabric, I'll explain that where is the gap. I started first principle thinking what is the human intelligence. Human intelligence works on three axes. One on expertise, second on perspectives, and third on behavior and traits. There are three axes on which intelligence gets built on. So when I'm building a AI, it's not about agentic AI. The core is knowledge. Do I need an enterprise knowledge garden? Besides LLM, LLM will give me universal knowledge, while enterprise knowledge garden, EKG, gives me knowledge of the organization, because if there are 100 people working in the organization or enterprise, everybody generates knowledge when they work. But that knowledge which they generate gets leaked out because there is a tacit knowledge, there is a explicit knowledge, and there is implicit knowledge. So there are three kinds of a knowledge which a knowledge worker generates. And that got lost out with the person when he joins the organization or leaves the organization. So how do we create an enterprise knowledge garden which is curated, nurtured along with data lake, where data will provide data as a service and knowledge garden will provide knowledge as a service. So this was a concept which we copyrighted. We put a patent on enterprise knowledge garden. How do you create and curate the garden? So this is the concept which nobody in the world has created till now. So when you want to play a role, we are saying we want to create business impact AI. For business impact AI, you need to reimagine customer with the AI lens. You need to reimagine products. You need to reimagine operations. You need to reimagine risk and compliance. So all the things that require a reimagination. It's not automation. In AI world, it's not automation. And this is where we are able, our research team is able to create something so unique, which the bigger player in Americas have still working on foundational research. So there's a huge potential. I feel that by using digital experts technology, digital expert technology is different from a agentic technology. So in today, everybody is talking about agent, and multi-agents. Digital expert work and augment human expert. And that's concept of digital expert where multiple agents work for him, comes together over there, creates a magical outcome, business outcome, and creates a business impact AI. They choose a specific LLM from the market. They have entitlement that, okay, this is a management knowledge, this is a leadership knowledge, this is a executive knowledge, this is a manager knowledge. By keeping them separate, they still drive the full impact on it. So we are very, very excited. We did the research, market research. There's only one company which is doing similar work, is called Palantir, which is doing similar job in US. We are doing similar job in different first principle thinking, but that's what we are getting inspiration from Palantir to drive business impact AI.
Right. Sir, at Intellect Design Arena, you provide enterprise-grade products and platforms in 57 countries to 500 plus global banks and financial institutions. Are there any markets that have surprised you in terms of readiness or maturity for advanced digital solutions and platforms?
Very interesting question from the perspective. We started from Americas. We believe that America can accept eMAG.ai as a fundamental platform and Purple Fabric as a second AI platform. Obviously, there's a traction in America. Then we move to UK. Then we move to Canada. Then we are now launching in India. To me, India is a surprise market. I did 2 master classes last 4 weeks. One on 18th June, one on 3rd June. I got I never expected that there will be more than 3,000 registration from more than 1,500 companies registering for the masterclass on AI. India market surprised me, the potential which it offers me. I found the registration done from Africa, from Zimbabwe. We never thought Zimbabwe we want to go to market. We thought we'll first focus on US and UK and then come to India, only 3 markets. And they are immediately sending a delegation to India to understand Purple Fabric. So this is a very interesting area where the people who want to make a change want to listen, want to learn, and want to adopt AI, because obviously the way internet changed the world in 95, and those companies which have picked up internet in 99, 2000 were survivors, and those people who didn't do it till 2000, they become laggard.
So while you're working with so many global customers, how do you balance the growing need for innovation, regulatory compliance, data privacy, and also risk mitigation?
The way we organize research team, one is on the functional area. Functional area of a bank, like retail bank, how the core banking get organized. There are 41 microservices we write to have the core banking needs. We have some 46 microservices for lending needs, for wealth needs. So we have divided retail banking area, capital market area, and wholesale banking area. So in each of the areas, there is a segments in which they operate, and they operate into a various markets from Asia, like Singapore, Japan, Thailand, Philippines, Vietnam is one kind of a market segment. Second market segment is Middle East, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar is a other market segment. Africa is a third market segment. South Africa, Zimbabwe, Kenya, Mauritius would be the fourth area. UK, France, Germany, Spain is another area. US is a market of its own, and Canada is a market of its own. So now these teams are picking up these patterns from each market segment, and these functional research teams which work around a particular product line, which works on a common cartographic view. On second side, we need an innovation, what you talked about, entitlement, compliance, risk. We have a 7 research team which works on customer experience, how the operations are required, what are the risks in the operations, what are the compliance needs in operations, what are the performance needs are required on technology front, how the analytics needs are required, what are the risk needs are required, what is the integration is required, and security is required. So there are 7 areas which called COPARIS, each acronym for each research team, is C for customer, O for operation, P for performance, A for analytics, R for risk, and I for integration, and S for security. So this research team investment it's a core investments we have to make to service this large global customer. When we implement a solution for Central Bank of India like RBI, and
they're one of the largest customers.
they're one of the largest customer, and you never heard any downtime from last 15 years. 2011 we got a contract from them, and they migrated to cloud. There's the first central bank which migrated to cloud, and without zero disruption of any nature. And they are such a forward-thinking central bank in India. Fortunately, we have that they think of cloud install, full system on cloud, almost 1.5 years back. And this is the power, I would say, this technology can deliver business impact.
We're seeing that AI, Gen AI, and quantum are bringing in huge changes in the $250 billion IT industry in India. We're seeing that the approach that they will have to take will move from a people-based approach to a platform-based approach, from a software as a service approach to a service as a software approach. So how prepared is the Indian IT industry to deal with this change, and what should they be doing to get the model right this time?
It's a big shift. I think $254 billion India's economy depends on $254 billion because that impels the other part of the economy. And it's a wake-up call for many service companies. Few companies are ready, not many of them are ready. Because AI requires the amount of investment, service company margins are not too high. They are working over the period of time, and some mid-sized service company or small-sized service company, SI companies which are there in various towns, they need to get into rethink and reimagine how they embed AI into the solutions they are providing to their customer. And that is where the biggest value is to me, between 500 people company to 5,000 people services company, SI company. They don't have their own dollars to invest. They need to choose some platform, whether they choose Palantir or they choose Purple Fabric, but they need to choose some platform on which they can embed. They can call AI as an API into their applications to their customer call. So they have to choose some platform. So they have to look at platform based, as you are rightly asked. So to me, India has to evolve as an ecosystem economy on AI, where like Purple Fabric can anchor the centerpiece, where we can have a consulting companies to work with the SIs and service companies. So we need to build up a platform-based economy to ecosystem-based economy, where consulting companies, SI companies, AWS, Azure as a cloud provider will come there as a infrastructure provider. We can have a local cloud provider may emerge in coming years, so they can provide those services. We may have a knowledge composers, which is of new breed of the professionals which will be required to create knowledge, curate the knowledge like data. Artists were there, now we need a knowledge artist here.
Right, absolutely, yeah. Wonderfully put. So what kind of AI bets are you placing that are not in public domain? Any moonshots, M&As, or any stealth IP development?
A moonshot is a Purple Fabric as a big moonshot. We believe that there can be 1,000 customers, we can look at it. So till now we used to sign 50 customers a year in Intellect, new customers. But the biggest moonshot in Purple Fabric, which we are looking internally and preparing ourselves, that if you have to sign 1,000 customers in new year on year, is a one axis on which we are working. Second axis we are working, how do we work with the partners? We are not work with partners over the period of time. Now if I have to get Purple Fabric for pharma, Purple Fabric for retail, Purple Fabric for real estate, I have to work with the partners. So there is a huge opportunity. We are working with SI partners as well as the consulting partners who can bring knowledge, because they bring the domain expertise, which is last 2% is 200%, that they will bring in. So that's where two changes we are looking at it internally is ability to sign 100 customers a month. And second, work with at least 50 partners who can take to their 100 customers each. So that's the two moonshots in next 2 to 3 years. If we can do that, it's a big transformation for us as well as for the country.
Sir, I can see that you're very passionate about AI and fintech innovation, but is there anything else that really drives you in terms of a passion project?
Mission Samriddhi. I love when I go to villages. We have a framework, and we say that rural transformation in India. When I started looking in 2016, when I went to Gandhi Ashram in Bapukuti, I visited 100 villages, did a lot of workshops. Now, each of the places what I found was that there is no framework of development. The village is a very small entity. It's a 3,000 people, 5,000 people in a village. They can be smaller than that. Now we want to have sectoral development, starting from central government or state government with the 25 different agendas. Now there's no capacity for them to absorb those 25 policies there. We simplified this into a structure called cluster development framework, where we say first you need to prepare their personal capacity, which is a personal leadership. Second, you develop social development skills, which is education, healthcare, infrastructure, gender equality. Then you come to economic development, agriculture, non-agriculture, market development, SHG, economic development. Then you have a ecological development, water, soil, forest, greenery, and then you develop the institutional development. So there are 5 blocks of development which we call D1 to D5. D1 is personal, D2 is social, D3 is economic, D4 is ecology, and D5 is institution. Institution of panchayat planning and development. And we took 3 years to do this job, and now when we are working in close to 1,000 villages in India, we are working directly, indirectly, or influencing 1,000 villages. Actually, we are working in close to 500, and 500 we are influencing. This is where the input which we are getting, and we have a village index development score on 1400 point score. How it moving from 500 development point score to the 700 to 800 to 900. It's a very, very satisfying. So my 2 days a week goes into Mission Samriddhi, which is really passionate for me to apply the same thinking which I am having from AI and design thinking to apply it to the India rural development.
Right. So it's been absolutely delightful and insightful talking to you in the time that we had. We covered some key milestones of your entrepreneurial journey. We spoke about your passion and your interest in design thinking, also how you're driving business and financial innovation at Intellect Design Arena, the hunger for innovation that you've seen in the developing economies, the ways in which AI will make the IT industry rethink its business model, and also some of your passion projects. It's been wonderful talking to you, sir. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this conversation with Mr. Arun Jain, Chairman and Managing Director of Intellect Design Arena, as much as I did. Thank you for watching.